Hi, this is Hindina with Remax Estate Properties here in Los Angeles, and today I would like to share with you this visual exercise to give you an idea of the messages we're receiving on social media and how they affect our lives, how they affect our health, and how they affect the people around us. My hope from this exercise is to really not only speak to you as a consumer of social media, but as an element and a vessel of those messages. My hope is that you get to really be in touch and be in the presence of your responsibility and the role you play on social media during these charged times, and the messages you promote and the conversation you promote. So this one here, the dark liquid, is representing all the dark negative messages that promotes hate, racism, that promotes anger, that seeks nothing but to divide us as a human race. This one here, which is the clear liquid, it represents all the positive messages that speak to all of us as one human race, that is based on love and compassion and forgiveness. This one here, it has a liquid. This is our mindset. This is how we wake up. This is what we how we show up to social media every single day. It's all pure, clean, and what we consume and what we post will make a difference at the end of the day. We can all agree these times have been very, very challenging on all of us, whether globally or locally. We are all going through the same storm, and we are all challenged, and we are all really, some of us are fearful and some are angry and some are just confused. There's so many emotions that we're all experiencing in different ways, but social media have been the number one outlet for all of us to express that. It has been the way we're connecting with the world, and this is why I'm making this exercise. Your role right now in social media is more than just entertaining and watching and connecting with people, but it's also becoming a voice. And there is a responsibility in the conversations you promote. There is a responsibility in the conversations you post on your walls. So for example, this is us. You wake up in the morning and you're consuming or posting all these dark messages. And here is what you are not only affecting your mind, the people around you, your community, but you're affecting the whole world by the messages you're promoting. You're affecting the whole world by the messages you're consuming. You're affecting the whole world by the conversations you're promoting. If you are conscious about what you're promoting right now, and if you add to any conversation, sometimes you come across all these dark conversations. If you're adding love, compassion, all these positive messages, you are really not only affecting, I don't know if you can see that, but it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And that is your mind, this is your life, this is what messages you're conveying to the whole community. This is the impact you really have on people around you and people that look up to you. I think these times, more than before, we are all called in, especially those of us who work in communities, own businesses, those of us who are raising kids and families. It is really very crucial and very important for us to understand our role and to understand our responsibility in what we are adding as a voice and as a message in our social media to the world. It is really important for us to understand that we play a role in how the world is going to continue and move forward from now. If you have kids that are looking up to you, if you have friends and families, if you have employees, if you have clients, if you have a community that really listens to what you have to say, you have a responsibility to be very, very selective in all the messages you post. You have a responsibility to understand that whatever you post and promote, it affects everybody around you. And one of the things I personally do is I check in at the end of the day if any of my messages really spoke to something else other than compassion. If my messages spoke to fear, if my messages spoke to hate. And sometimes, sometimes we post different things about what we're going through without taking responsibility that there are people who will find an answer in your messages. And the best way to do it is to go back and really, really audit what you posted during the day. Am I adding good or am I adding negative thoughts and negative energies and negative, messages? Am I adding value for everybody? Am I uniting my community? Am I being a voice of change? Am I speaking truth and justice and love and compassion? Or am I speaking hate? Am I speaking division? Am I speaking rage and anger? One of the things I also do is what actually I did when the whole shutdown happened. I made a conscious decision that I will not add anything to the conversations online that speaks to fear and confusion. And even if I do, it's with the message of really clearing up that and having, a way or a lesson for all of us to share that it's inspiring, that speaks to our strength as human beings, that speaks to our messages and our purpose and our why. We are elements of change, we're instruments of change. We are leading the communities we live in, we are leading the families we're in, we're leading a generation of kids that are looking up to us. What messages are we giving these people? I know as business owners, being on social media during these times can be really a risky thing to do, because if you're posting opinions, you may lose clients and businesses, and a lot of companies try to stay away and be silent. But my advice to you, if you are an instrument of change and if you are playing a leadership role in your community, that as a business, these are times to show up and unite your community. These are times to show up powerfully and speak messages that doesn't divide, messages that doesn't add fear, messages that does not add confusion. We owe it to the communities we work in to really be the voice of reason, to be a voice of compassion, to be a voice of understanding, even if we're just listening. We owe it to the communities we work in and the communities we thrive from, the communities that helped us build our businesses. We owe it to those communities to stay active during these times and to speak messages that are empowering, inspiring, compassionate, to not add to the fear, to not add to the anger, to not add to racism, to not speak your opinion if you know that with that opinion you're taking one side against another side, to really see what brings your community together. I think we are leaders and we have to step up to our leadership. I think we are honored to have this privilege to really lead our communities, whether we volunteer more, show up, listen, promote messages of hope, to really use our social media in a way that's effective and not in a way that really just express our feelings and our anger and our confusion and adds more to a lower vibration conversation. The community right now, your community, is in desperate need for a leader like yourself. The communities right now are in desperate need for voices like yours that unite, that speaks compassion, that speaks love, and that really seeks nothing but to be an instrument of change and to be an instrument of guidance and to be an instrument of leadership. So I hope this message has really helped you to be in the presence of who you are and the responsibility you have as a voice in the community and as an active social media business promoter or a business owner.